What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, undefeated welterweight superstar title contender, Jaron Boots Ennis. 29 wins, no losses, no draw. 27 big wins by way of knockout. He is 25 years of age, 5'10" with a 74-inch arm reach. He has a fight coming up with Karen Chukadazine this Saturday, January 7th, which I believe Jaron Boots Ennis will get a huge victory, easy victory over CK, as I call him, okay? KC, excuse me, Karan Chuakadizine. I can't even pronounce his last name. It's a very tongue twister, his last name. So with that said, I believe Jaron Ennis, his talent, his skill set is going to overwhelm his opponent on Saturday night. Now, Jaron Ennis, he went back and forth with another undefeated welterweight superstar title contender, Rashidi Speedy Ellis, or dare I say a star title contender, Speedy Rashidi Ellis, who is 24 wins, no losses, no draw, 15 wins by way of knockout. He is 29 years of age, 5'9" with a 72-inch arm reach. Okay, Rashidi Ellis will also be featured on this card. Okay, he is the bout right before Jaron Boots Ennis fight. So Rashidi Ellis is facing Roman Villa, who is 25 wins, 1 loss, no draws. Okay, so Rashidi Ellis has been inactive over a period of time, and Roman Villa, who he has 26 fights and 24 of them by way of knockout. He is 29 years of age, 5'7" with a 70-inch arm reach, a Colombian fighter. Okay, Rashidi Ellis, I expect him to be victorious in this fight, but this is going to be a hard-fought fight for Rashidi Speedy Ellis. Okay, nonetheless. With that said, Rashidi Ellis, Jaron Boots Ennis, this was being, you could see this fight coming in the making, and they had a discussion at the press conference today where Jaron Boots Ennis stated that, Rashidi Speedy Ellis, he had a contract, and he had a contract to fight this Saturday. So it was supposed to be Rashidi Ellis versus Jaron Boots Ennis this Saturday, but he stated that Rashidi Ellis turned it down, and Rashidi Ellis, he confirmed he did turn it down, right? He stated that the money wasn't there for the fight, so he definitely turned down the fight, okay? He said it wasn't, it was double the amount of money he wanted to fight his current opponent, but he said it wasn't like it was a whole lot of money that was being demanded. So Rashidi Ellis, they said, well, we could visit that after this fight. So that begs the question. Now, Jaron Boots Ennis, he is the IBF, International Boxing Federation, mandatory challenger for undefeated unified 3-belt WBA, WBC, IBF welterweight world champion superstar boxer, who is widely considered by many to be top 2, if not number 1, definitely top 5 pound-for-pound best fighters in the world, and Earl the True Spence Jr. Earl Spence Jr. is 28 wins, no loss, no draw, 22 big wins by way of knockout. He is 5'9" with a 72-inch arm reach at 32 years of age. Okay, now Errol Spence, he stated he'll make his ring return May or June of this year, and it looks like he's going to face off against former unified WBC, WBA welterweight world champion superstar boxer Keith one-time Thurman, who is 30 wins, 1 loss, no draw, 22 wins by way of knockout. 34 years of age, 5'8" with a 69-inch arm reach. So it looked like that's going to be his opponent, as Keith Thurman is the WBC mandatory challenger. Now, Errol Spence, after that fight, he wants to face off against undefeated 3-division world champion, former junior welterweight undisputed world champion, currently the reigning WBO World Boxing Organization welterweight world champion, who is widely considered by many to be the number 1 best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, in Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford is 39 wins, no losses, no draw, 30 big wins by way of knockout. He is 35 years of age, 5'8" with a 74-inch arm reach. Now, Terence Crawford is on vacation after his December 10th showdown with David Avanesian, to which he got a 6-round brutal knockout victory, okay? So Terence Crawford is working out. He showed footage of himself training and working out and saying that, this boxing thing is in him, right? It's not on him, it's in him, right? So Terence Crawford is staying in shape. Now, again, like I said, Jaron Boots Ennis is the mandatory challenger for Errol Spence. Errol Spence holds the WBC, which Keith Thurman is number 1 in the WBC, okay? Jaron Ennis is number 3 in the WBC, and undefeated welterweight Mexican superstar title contender Virgil Ortiz Jr., who is 19 wins, no loss, no draw, 19 wins by way of knockout, at 24 years of age. He's at number 2, okay? And then you have the WBA. The WBA, you have Ennis, who's the undefeated Lithuanian regular champion, who is 14 wins, no loss, no draw, 9 wins by way of knockout. He is the regular champion. He's also, too, the mandatory challenger for Errol Spence, but he's going to face the number 1 challenger who leapfrogged everybody, and that's Virgil Ortiz. So Virgil Ortiz and Ennis are going to face off against one another in March. It looks like March 18th, okay? So with that said, Jaron Boots Ennis is the mandatory challenger for the IBF, okay? So you have the WBO, which Terence Crawford holds the WBO. Now, Jaron Ennis is number 1 in the IBF. Number 2 spot is vacant. Number 3 is Virgil Ortiz. And Chua Cardazine is number 4, okay, with a record of 21 wins, 1 loss, no draws. That's the opponent that, Jaron Ennis is going to face. Rashidi Ellis is ranked 8 in that ranking system, okay? And then you look at the WBO rankings, okay? Virgil Ortiz is number 1, but in all reality, Jaron Boots Ennis is number 1 because Virgil Ortiz is fighting for the WBA regular title. So he wins the WBA regular title, okay, he's going to move out of that spot, okay? So that means Jaron Boots Ennis is at number 1, which means that I believe Jaron Boots Ennis, instead of waiting for, because he said that, Errol Spence has 120 days after his fight with Keith Thurman. So let's say Errol Spence fights Keith Thurman in June, okay, which means he has 120 days. So he won't be mandated to make a decision until September of 2023, right? Which is going to give him the opportunity to look to fight Terence Crawford, okay? Because and I believe the WBC and the WBA and the IBF, they're going to give him the opportunity to be able to sidestep. So I believe that they're going to allow Errol Spence to be able to step aside from having to fight his mandatories, which would be at that point the winner, Stanionis and Virgil Ortiz, and Jaron Boots Ennis. Okay, they're going to give him the opportunity to fight Terence Crawford for undisputed, for all the marbles. So I truly believe for Jaron Boots Ennis to put himself in the best position is not wait. Don't fight Rashidi Ellis next. Push for the fight right now with Terence Crawford, okay? Because again, like I said, the IBF, they're going to give Errol Spence the opportunity to get a pass with fighting his mandatory, okay, to fight Terence Crawford once he finished with Keith Thurman. That's the route Errol Spence is going to want to go. He's not going to stick around to fight Jaron Ennis. It doesn't benefit him to fight Jaron Ennis, his mandatory at welterweight, okay? If that's the case, Errol Spence has already stated it's tough enough for him to make 147 pounds. He knows eventually Jaron Ennis is going to move up to 54, so he'll see Jaron Boots Ennis at 154. It doesn't benefit and suit Errol Spence to fight Jaron Ennis at 147. So for Jaron Ennis to get his opportunity at one Errol Spence or Terence Crawford, I think the best route, since Terence Crawford right now doesn't have an opponent, and Terence Crawford is looking to get back in the ring in April or May, that's around the same time Errol Spence is going to fight. So he's going to fight Keith Thurman. That's the time for Jaron Boots Ennis to push for the fight, make himself the mandatory challenger. Right now, petition the WBO to be the mandatory challenger for Terence Crawford. Okay, because his number 1 challenger there is Virgil Ortiz, who's now stepping away from that position because he's going to face off against Stanionis for the WBA regular title. If he wins, he's going to lose that position. So for Jaron Ennis, he should petition the WBO right now. Terence Crawford doesn't have a fight. To be the mandatory challenger for Terence Crawford in the WBO. You can fight Terence Crawford at the same time Errol Spence is fighting Keith Thurman, and then the winner fights each other. Okay, fighting Rashidi Ellis next doesn't benefit Jaron Boots Ennis as far as being able to land a fight with Terence Crawford or Errol Spence. Petition the WBO. Don't wait for the IBF. I'm telling you now, the IBF is going to give Errol Spence a pardon to be able to fight Terence Crawford for undisputed. Okay, they're going to give him a 1-fight pardon. All right, to fight Terence Crawford for undisputed. They're not going to stand in the way of Terence Crawford, Errol Spence, the biggest fight in boxing, for undisputed. The IBF is not going to take that stand. Okay, so with that said, for Jaron Boots Ennis, his route should be to make himself the mandatory challenger for Terence Crawford. Petition the WBO to be the mandatory challenger for Terence Crawford next. Terence Crawford will honor it. Terence Crawford will fight Jaron Ennis in May or June, or April or June. Okay, Jaron Ennis is staying in shape. I believe this fight here is not gonna see him injured or a rough, rugged fight. Who knows? Never know in the sport of boxing, but I think he's gonna win going away. Okay, then Jaron Boots Ennis, go ahead and petition the WBO immediately. Make yourself the mandatory challenger. Give Terence Crawford an opponent. He don't have an opponent. Virgil Ortiz is busy. Amanda Stanionis is busy. Errol Spence is busy. Keith Thurman is busy. They're not available. Make yourself available, not Rashidi Ellis. No slight to Rashidi Ellis. Put yourself in position. You fight Terence Crawford for the WBO title at the same time. The winner fights the winner, Errol Spence, Keith Thurman, in the winter or fall of 2023. That's the best logic and the most logical sense for Jaron Boots Ennis. Terence Crawford, it's a way for Terence Crawford to quote unquote rectify himself with the fans that said he's not fought anybody outside of the Sean Porter fight. It's a way for Jaron Boots Ennis to get his fight. It's a way for Errol Spence to clean out the division, and it's a way for Keith Thurman to get back into the good standings. Period. A round robin, a mini tournament. And that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.